Okay. I'm just starting the stream on the other platforms. Although, probably gonna... The MSG rally? The Madison Square Garden one? I did not go. Did it already happen? I know that Trump was, I don't know. It's going well. That's good. How old is she now? Was it like 8 months maybe? 7 months? 6 months? Seven months. Nailed it. That's so cool. 7 months. My friend just, her baby just had his first birthday. It's wild how quickly it all happens. I have to get him a gift. I was going to get him this book that this creator on TikTok made, Mother Moon, but she had some sort of mental breakdown and like, I don't think I can get her book anymore. I did talked. The MSG rally was revolting. Oh wait, was that the one where they said the pile of trash, the island of trash thing? Yeah, I saw fucking clips. I almost made a video, and maybe I should make a TikTok on here speaking to like Latinoamericanos and Hispanoamericanos, you know, being like, he's calling you trash. But I was going to do it like in Spanish. Fucking wild. No, Mother Moon was the name of the creator. If you search her up, you'll see there's like a bunch of like Mother Moon like breakdown, all that kind of stuff. I don't know exactly what happened, but her account is gone. But she had this book that she put out. It had like a song and stuff. Yeah, he's just trying to get people riled up to go and destroy shit. I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh my gosh. I'm really worried now that Under the Desk News said that about, because I keep telling people I'm worried about TikTok. I think it will. I think there's a good chance that it will get nixed. It was good, talked. It was fun. But people keep telling me like, no, it won't be. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna get banned. And I'm like, it drives me fucking crazy, and I'm starting to gaslight myself about it too, where I'm like, well, if all these people think that it's like really, really unlikely, but it bothers me because that's what everyone kept fucking telling me about 2016 and who won. They're like, don't worry, it's not gonna happen. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. And Roe v. Wade getting overturned. People are like, no, don't worry, it's like never actually gonna happen. And I was like, and like on, you know what I mean? Like on these things, it's like I keep being told, no, don't worry, it's not gonna happen. And then it just keeps fucking and I'm like, I keep letting people gaslight me into being like, oh, okay, maybe I'm just being alarmist or something. And it's like, it's just, in 2020, yeah, but in 2016, I was very convinced he was going to win, and he did. You know what I mean? 2020, I was less convinced, to be clear. Yes, banana, exactly. Banana, I agree. We do have to vote. Everyone. I mean, this election, I don't know. You know, people keep coming in here and asking me what I think, and I'm like, I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I just think everyone needs to go out and vote. That's all I think. I don't know who's going to win. Yeah, Victrola. I mean, they're literally, like, lighting those boxes on fire. Yeah, but who's they, right? Hundreds of ballots were destroyed in the fire. An identical Volvo was spotted at both scenes. And the use of an incendiary device in Portland was similar in nature to what occurred in Vancouver. 3 ballots were damaged in Portland, while potentially hundreds were affected in Vancouver and Washington. Yeah, I think the National Guard should be deployed to keep an eye on ballot boxes. Yeah. But it's like scary to say that because it's like, that can also be, hi Teasy, that can also be seen as like intimidation. And I wouldn't want Drumpf to send National Guard or anyone to keep an eye on boxes. You know what I mean? I think locking people down is gonna not be good. But they should all be under like camera surveillance, basically. Yeah, right, Kendi, I agree. There should be cameras on every fucking box. Every single box. Fire suppressant inside the ballot box protected virtually all the ballots. That's cool. Voters should be assured that even if their ballots were in the affected box, their votes would be counted. It's fucking terrifying what Republicans are doing. Because you know it's Republicans. You fucking know. Obviously. Cash in no worky. Okay, Glusenkamp Perez, who's the Democratic rep in Washington, in Vancouver's in Washington's 3rd Congressional District, where Democratic rep Marie Glusenkamp Perez faces Drumpf-backed Republican challenger Joe Kent in a highly competitive House race. Glusenkamp Perez said that she has requested an overnight law enforcement presence at all ballot drop boxes in Clark County through Election Day. Yeah, okay. Which also feels weird. What feels weird, Kendi? Something might have gotten filtered. Yeah, he's paying Rasmussen polls. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, they're strong lately. Quite strong. Comme ci, comme ça, Andrew. It's too sweet. TZ on Twitch says, must say the people who lit up the ballot boxes have a weird understanding of democracy. I agree. Yes, you are correct, sir. Oh, that's what's going on. That's why I can't fucking see anything. Because my second monitor is like... How long am I gonna be gone for? Just a couple days. We haven't really decided what day we're coming back yet. But I think we'll just be there a couple nights. But I will maybe go live from there, maybe. We'll see. Although not Halloween night, evening, because that's my mother's birthday. So maybe we'll see. But also, she has like slower Wi-Fi. Thank you, Non. The fuck? Come on. There we go. Teasy, things are going great, but I mean they're fine. But pop out chat. Here we go. I'm stressing about TikTok getting banned. I think I fixed that. I think. Hopefully notice some more. Ay, ay, ay. Do I think so? I have never expressed an opinion of who's gonna win this election. I don't know, Diamond. I get asked that all the time. You've been in here before when I've been asked that, and I always say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not teasy, but TikTok is gonna be banned. $50 blue. What do you mean by 50 blue? Oh, all 50 blue? Wouldn't that be something? nail oil. Hi, Emma. Not much. We're just talking about results, potential results. Who's going to win in November. I was also doing some, because I'm going to be live streaming on November 5th. And I'm trying to set up like a slightly better setup because, you know, I'm multi-stream on multiple platforms. And I was going to try to have a slightly fancier setup, but it seems like I will not be able to. I mean, I might be able to. What I might end up doing is just doing a horizontal stream on TikTok as well. You know what I mean? And people can flip their phones if they want to. I feel like those streams don't do nearly as well, probably. Oh, from Australia. I've got some Milo. Should I make Milo? It's been a while since I made Milo. I always make Milo when Australians come in my chat and let themselves. What am I gonna do? I don't know. Help as many people as I can. Try to figure out if it makes sense for me to leave. Mostly I'm gonna help people as long as I can in whatever ways I can. A lot of people will be victimized by that man. So I'm going to do everything I can to help. What do I think of her? I think she's imperfect, but I think she's a hell of a lot better than a lot of people we've had. I think she's a real fucking person, which is great. I also think she's around the age that I would like to see more candidates be in general. Good night, Kendi. We do not race manner. We're just hanging out. Should I make some Milo? Let me make some Milo. Feels like a Milo night. It would, wouldn't it, Emma? It would be great. It would also just be great to have someone like not so fucking terrible. You know what I mean? As Drumpf. It would be fucking great if we could just move the fuck on from whatever this nightmare timeline is that we found ourselves on. Personally. It's not gonna be banned because of me. It's getting banned because the government doesn't like that American billionaires aren't controlling every bit of news that Americans access. That's literally it. I mean, you guys saw what Bezos did, right? By the way, my post about Jeff Bezos went nowhere. If you guys want to go watch that and share it and stuff and interact with it, I would like for that to get out more because I think it's fucking important that we talk about how fucked up it is that so many billionaires, that billionaires control so much of our media because they have vested interests in things like who wins, and they will use their power we are seeing it happen at multiple newspapers now, that they are using their power to not allow the newspaper editorial staff to print things like their endorsements. They control it. They control what is being said. The fact that even, yes, I agree, Emma. The fact that billionaires even fucking exist. Travesty. But they are owning our media, and they are controlling it. They're using it for their gain, their political gain. And by definition, a billionaire's gain is everyone else's fucking loss. You don't become a billionaire if you're not exploiting a hell of a lot of people. Yeah, well, that's fucking pathetic, though, Race Banner. He's a billionaire. What's the worst case that'll happen? What's the worst thing that'll happen? Amazon will miss out on a couple of contracts. The guy has more money than God. He can stand to lose some fucking contracts. He could use some of that fucking money and put it to good use to benefit society. He could do that, but no. Someone who sits on that much money and does nothing beneficial for the people around him with it is by definition a selfish and honestly evil person. His business interests should not trump people's lives and rights. And he should get the fuck over it, personally. This is my opinion. Jeff Bezos, Jesus, yeah. It is unbelievable. It is ridiculous. Yeah, Race Banner. As a business owner myself, I perfectly understand that. Race Banner, Amazon will not have issues, will not have trouble paying people if it doesn't get certain business contracts. First of all, if it doesn't get those business contracts, it's not going to hire the people it needs to hire, to finish those contracts. Don't you fucking worry. But they report record profits year over year. If they are having trouble paying employees, they can steal a little bit of their own fucking coffers, borrow from their own coffers, and use that fucking money to pay their employees. Them missing out on contracts that don't exist yet, that's not gonna fucking do it. I agree, Race Banner, which is why he should allow the press, the free press, to continue to be free, Race Banner. He is dangerous, which is why people like Bezos, who have money and incredible power because of that money, should be doing more, not to stop people from doing what they can to stop him from winning. He should be allowing them to do that, but then he should also be using his incredible power and wealth to do what he can in other ways. But he is not. He's actively hindering people's efforts to stop him from winning. He is ensuring his win. He is doing more. He's going out of his way to ensure his win. It's not just, he's afraid and he's protecting himself. He has more fucking money than anyone in the world needs. He does not actually need protection. That's fucking clear. What's the scariest thing that could happen to him if Drumpf wins? Nothing. The guy has more money than Drumpf. Nothing bad will happen to him. He'll lose out on a couple contracts. Okay, he's a fucking billionaire. No, I don't know why you want to come up here. To be fair, he flew to space in a giant Pinot spaceship. Yeah, exactly, Emma. Yeah. We need public transport. We need fucking healthcare. All right, fine. You understand what I'm saying, dude? It's not, I'm sorry, but no, he's just protecting himself. What good is being a billionaire if you can't if that doesn't mean that you're pretty much solid when a shitty politician comes into power. What good is being a billionaire if you're scared if one guy fucking wins?
Do you think more attention came because he did this than if they had been allowed to give their endorsement? Question mark.
Do I think what?
Do you think that WAPO endorsing Kamala Harris had more impact or the discussion that's being had because he did not allow it?
Had more. I'm sorry. You keep getting.
Okay, so if WAPO, Washington Post, actually endorsed Kamala Harris, how much impact do you think that would have had?
I don't know, but
okay, how much?
No, but that doesn't matter. The way press and media should work is that it should not be in the hands of billionaires who get to choose what doesn't make it, like what doesn't get published and what doesn't, like, or what does get published and what doesn't. Like,
you didn't hear the second part of the question. Okay. Is there more discussion about it because he didn't allow it than because he did?
Maybe, but that's not something to commend Jeff Bezos for.
I'm not commending him, but I think he knew that it would happen because he had already seen it happen at the LA Times.
No. I'm sorry, but no. We do not fucking act as though Jeff Bezos is some like 4D chess playing genius who wanted to look like the bad guy by stopping his newspaper from endorsing someone after they've done it for decades. Okay, this is not like, oh, they were gonna break with tradition. No. He broke with tradition. And it just so happens that his fucking people had a meeting with Trump's fucking people that same afternoon. Oh, it just so happens. What a coincidence. No. And if this was some sort of like fucking 4D chess, you supposedly want to think Jeff Bezos was like playing, like that guy, like I said, he has so much fucking money. He could have been doing so much more to help with her campaign this entire fucking time. And not just her campaign, but like just other social issues. You know what I mean? He literally could have he could cure or fix world hunger. He has enough money to do that.
I don't disagree.
But so, like, don't come at me and be like, oh, well, no, but this is, like, people are talking about it more, therefore this is better, therefore maybe that's what he was doing. No.
Well, I hope you understand we're having a discussion. I'm not coming at you for anything.
Yeah, I know, but I'm yelling because I'm angry because our media and our news should not be controlled by billionaires who have a very clear and vested interest in a lot of what does and doesn't get published.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. But I'm saying sometimes it works out for the better when people do stupid things.
Okay, but sure, and I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope it works out for the better, but that's not something to commend Jeff Bezos about, and that doesn't make it okay. Like that doesn't.
Didn't commend him. I understand the reason he did because I have a business and I have paychecks I have to pay every week.
I do too, dude. And as a business owner, his business is not like, he's not a small business owner. So the logic of small business owners does not apply to Jeff Bezos and what he does. Like if he were a small business owner, I would understand it 1,000%. 1,000%.
Do you think he didn't know what the reaction would be?
I don't think he fucking cared. I don't think
he cared. You don't think that he knew that they would do this and that the discussion would be had and he might be seen as the bad guy, but it would still raise the discussion?
Oh my God, that is such a twisted way to think about something that is so simple. Jeff Bezos understood that if one of his companies endorsed Kamala Harris and Donald Trump ends up winning, that Donald Trump is likely to retaliate in some way and is, or not completely likely, but more likely. He's likely to do something and retaliate or, hold some kind of grudge. And he also knows that if he just doesn't endorse anybody, Kamala Harris isn't going to come after him if she gets elected. He made a choice and said, "Well, which is better for my business?" And it's a shitty it's a shitty reality that we live in, where this person who's like an ultra super billionaire, owner of companies, is like, well, if I endorse Kamala, if I let my company independently endorse Kamala and Trump wins, he could make my life harder for my businesses.
No, no, no.
But
To
if
be
I
clear,
just don't, yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you. Make my life harder for my businesses. No, 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 no. Okay. We're talking maybe he will not then receive government contracts. Like, probably not like his life actually harder.
yeah.
It will be less easy. That's what it is. There's a difference because he's a fucking billionaire and he's doing just fine. And like, it was selfish. It was purely selfish. Amazon is going to make fucking billions and billions, trillions of dollars, even if they miss out on an occasional, $10 billion deal with the government. But Jeff Bezos sees that, and that's a bigger issue for Jeff Bezos than all the fucking people's lives and rights that will be lost under that fucking tyrant. And I'm sorry, but like, even if he were obviously a small business owner will never have that much power, and a small business owner, I think the question is different because for small business owners, often it is like one small thing, one job, one this, one that will make or break the entire business. That is not the case for Amazon, not even a little bit, not for Jeff Bezos, mind you. And like, because Amazon, by the way, again, is just one of many fucking companies he owns. But he owns WAPO, he owns Blue, whatever the thing was that met with Trump officials. No, for a small business owner, fine. Make or break, you gotta sometimes, unfortunately, keep quiet and be publicly neutral in order to like ensure that you're gonna exist 4 years from now. That's not the case for Amazon. But also, a small business will never be put into such a position, that where they have this much power, where allowing their employees to just do what they do and as a matter of course, because again, it's like it's not the Washington Post going out of its way. No. It's journalists doing their jobs and the editorial staff doing what they have always done every 4 years on the fucking dot. Actually, maybe they might actually do endorsements every 2 years as well. On the fucking dot for over 30 years without missing a single election. And for the majority of elections before 1992 as well. And he would rather put people's lives at risk than potentially lose out on a contract or two with the government for 4 years.
Yeah, that's that's what I was saying. Yeah, kind of. So
it's like
I'm not as articulate, but that's what I was trying to say.
Sorry, I'm like rambling a little too. He's not looking out for those workers, Julian. Shut the fuck up, dude. He is not looking out for those workers.
Brenna, do you read the Washington Post?
Not anymore, I don't.
Did you yesterday? Did you this morning? Did you before he did this?
Yeah.
Okay, so
his own staff are like resigning in protest. We can't hear you. If you swipe out of the app, we can't hear anything you're saying.
Have you looked at the opinion articles that are posted right now in the Washington Post?
No.
Okay, so he didn't give an endorsement, but he has an opinion post that says the best argument against Trump. That's one. There are multiple opinion posts that are there that are not an endorsement of Kamala Harris that are negative and hard and against Donald Trump. So the fact that they didn't endorse him does not mean that he's not allowing them to also talk against Trump.
I don't care.
Okay.
I put it very simply. They were ready to endorse. The press should have been allowed, the Washington Post editorial staff should have been allowed to publish that endorsement because that is what they have always done.
Okay, but listen to what you just said. They knew that they were going to endorse. So the endorsement is out there. They are blaming Bezos for not allowing them to endorse, but they have endorsed. You know that they were endorsing Kamala Harris, and there are opinion articles negative against Trump on the Post right now.
Opinion articles, okay, but opinion articles is not the same as an endorsement. It just isn't. And I'm sorry, like
It would have been. It was the opinion section that does the endorsement.
It's not the endorsement.
It's the opinion staff that does the endorsement.
It's the editorial staff, correct? But
Okay.
But it is different for headlines to say Washington Post endorsed Kamala Harris or whomever than Jeff Bezos doesn't allow paper to endorse Kamala Harris.
Yes, but more comments, more input has been going on because he said that, and the endorsement still lives because everybody knows they were going to endorse Kamala Harris, and that the only reason they didn't was because he said no.
In large part because the staff is revolting. He did not. That was not planned. You
don't think he knew that they were going to do it? You don't think they sat in a room and they said, if you don't allow us to do it, we're going to revolt?
You think Jeff Bezos sat in a room with a bunch of journalists and was like, let me know what you're going to do if I do this? No. I think he said, absolutely not. Do not fucking endorse.
I think they told him that he was going to do it. And I think he knew that it was going to drive more people to read the thing. And
I disagree, dude. I disagree. And you know why? Because WAPO is losing money now because so many people are canceling their subscriptions. And in fact, his employees, like the editors and stuff who have come out and revolted, like have come out and been like, we are worried that this, by the way, not just is fucked up, that like a billionaire is meddling in this. And by the way, the people who agree, the people on staff, on the WAPO staff, who think that the Washington Post should never endorse anyone and should be like entirely neutral, like, you know, breaking with tradition and stuff, even they say that this was fucked up because they're like, this should have been a decision made outside of an election year. It should not have been, and it should not have been made as a result of Jeff Bezos being chicken shit and doing this because of his bottom line, his billionaire bottom line, mind you. Again, not a small business owner bottom line, a fucking multi-billionaire bottom line. I'm sorry, but you're giving him too much credit. I hope so. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope, but you know, in the same way that some people were like, you know what, if Trump wins, that might actually be better because maybe that'll light a fire under like the progressive arm of this country's ass. You know, maybe
there won't be any winning for this country if Trump wins. There's nothing positive that will come out of it.
But I have heard people make the argument that like, well, if he wins, maybe the positive thing that will come is that, you know, people, the left will have to get even more powerful. I've heard that. And like, you know what? It can be argued that as a result of his win in 2016, that happened on some level. Sure, it could be argued, but does that mean that it was good that he won in 2016? Absolutely fucking not. So us being like, well, okay, but he did this, and now the editorial staff has come out and they themselves published this thing being like, we were going to endorse her, trying to basically undo the fact, you know, basically counteract the fact that they cannot come out with an official endorsement. They're saying like, hey, FYI, we're not allowed to officially endorse, but you should know we would have endorsed her if we could. And this is fucked up and this is messed up. 17, by the way, 17 staff members. And then the cartoon staff they published a cartoon basically calling out the Washington Post for not allowing, because you know the the phrase, the motto of the Washington Post is democracy dies in darkness. So they published a comic called Democracy Dies in Darkness, and it's just like like the square, and it looks like black paint basically painted over it and stuff. So they're calling it out. The staff is revolting, but to basically look at this situation and be like, oh well, actually it's great, you know, good for Jeff Bezos for, you know, owning this paper so that he could use it in his own self-interest as a fucking billionaire. And good for Jeff Bezos for being so chicken shit that he would rather that he stopped them from making an endorsement, cutting with decades of tradition, because he was afraid personally of you know, what it would do, not giving a single shit about why his editorial staff would have published an endorsement and what they had to say about it, which, by the way, again, is about people's lives and people's rights, to say that, oh, well, despite all that, you know, because the staff is revolted and therefore it's more talking time, it's actually, you know, actually good on Jeff Bezos for being a sack of shit. No.
Okay. Well, you've inferred that from my discussion, because I never said good on Bezos. I said I think he knew what the result would be, is that the endorsement would come out anyways, and there'd be more attention towards that than there would have been if they simply endorsed it as they normally would have and gone about business.
Then
I don't know. I think that's a
would've been
hindsight
different.
opinion.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Okay.
just saying if he did that knowing that, and therefore that basically, even though you're saying, oh, I'm not saying good on Jeff Bezos, suggesting that, like, saying like, well, maybe he knew that this would happen, that is basically giving him credit for it.
No, I'm
Even if
saying
you're
that
like, I'm not giving him credit, like, that's kind of
I'm
giving him
saying
credit.
he's hedging his bets. He's protecting his business while at the same time still getting out the same information that would have gotten out anyways. Except now there's more discussion
I don't
about
think
it.
it's
He's
I
taking
don't
the
think
hit
it's the
as the
same
bad guy.
information. I don't think it's the same information.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to agree to disagree on that.
I don't think he.
I mean, it might turn out to be a more beneficial thing because of outrage, but I don't think like it's this. First of all, I don't think it's the same information coming out as an endorsement. And maybe that endorsement would have just like flown under the radar. And people are, oh yeah, well, of course, because they endorsed Biden, sure. But I don't, and
That's
so it
exactly
like
what I'm saying, Andrew.
no,
Exactly
I
what
know,
I'm
but
saying.
I
Right.
think
But
where
again,
you and I disagree is like his intention. I don't think he like intended for that. I think in hindsight, you could look back, you know, if she wins and you could look back and say, oh, wow, the Washington Post thing really made a difference in the last week. And you can say like, that was, you know,
I didn't say he
whatever.
intended it. I said he knew it would happen, but he was hedging his bets to protect his business.
I don't understand the difference between intended it and knew it would happen. But,
Yeah.
maybe,
Because he let
knowing
happen
it
what
would
happened.
But knowing it would happen and doing something that is so out of line, like cuts with tradition, that it, like going out of his way to do something and saying, well, he knew this would happen, that is intentional. Like, that's not like, oh, he stepped back and he knew it would happen, but he basically like didn't have any. No. He went out of his way to take steps. And if you were saying that it was that he knew blah blah all this stuff would happen, that like basically that makes it
You
intentional.
know, they knew in September that they were going to do this.
Who's they? And what's this?
Washington Post. They knew that they weren't going to get to do this endorsement. At least that's the information that's been released. Is that they knew in September that they were going to break from tradition. But he pulled the trigger. He pulled the trigger this week. Well, I can't look it up while I'm talking to you because it keeps cutting me off audio.
I mean, you can look it up, but you have to just sweat. You can't read
I know,
it.
but then I can't.
I mean, it's possible that they knew it might happen, but like you said, he quote, like you just said, quote, he pulled the trigger this week, so it happened this week. Yeah. Whether or not there was like discussions of it maybe happening.
Why would they have written an endorsement if they knew that they wouldn't be able to publish it? And also, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter what the timeline is. If the billionaire owner of the Washington Post told the editorial staff that they were not allowed to publish the prepared endorsement that they had written out and like signed their names to, it doesn't matter if it happened today, yesterday, 3 months ago, 5 months ago. That is a problem, no matter which way you cut it. But I would love to know what what the source is on. They knew in September they wouldn't be allowed to like publish it.
Just a second, I'm looking it up and I can't talk sometimes. So hold on.
G says, why would the richest people in the world own media outlets? Yeah. Why the fuck, why does Rupert Murdoch own media outlets? Why? Why does, what's his name? Is it Xin Xiang? Is that what it was? Xin Xiang? Why does he own the LA Times? Here, okay, I found it in New York Times. A tropical
Because I'm
storm.
not.
Well, I think this is what you're referring to. A tropical storm was heading toward Florida's Gulf Coast in late September when senior news and opinion leaders of the Washington Post flew into Miami for a periodic meeting with Jeff Bezos, newspaper's billionaire owner. During their visit, which included a working lunch, David Shipley, the Post's opinion editor, and Will Lewis, the Post's chief executive and publisher, discussed plans for the future newspaper opinion section. The election, less than 45 days away, loomed large, blah, blah, blah. So by the end of the meeting, according to 4 people familiar with it who spoke on condition of it, blah, 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 it appeared to Mr. Shipley and Mr. Lewis that Mr. Bezos had reservations about the Post endorsing either candidate in the presidential race. But they also thought he was open to persuasion. So, yeah, in September, he seemed like maybe you shouldn't endorse anyone. Which, by the way, knowing full well who they were going to endorse, because he knows who the fucking monster is and who isn't. But I don't see how that changes the problem with the fact that he didn't allow them to endorse anyone.
Again,
and it said that they thought that they could convince him otherwise. So it doesn't seem like they knew.
They knew it was coming. They knew the storm was coming, and he pulled the trigger a week before when it would have the most effect.
What does that have to do with, I mean, a lot of...
If he had done it in September, people would have just ignored it. It would have been over. Well, so a good friend of mine is sheriff in a county where my law firm is at in Missouri. And he says, don't put out your signs in the yards until a couple weeks before the election because people get tired of hearing about it. If he had pulled the trigger in September, it would have had little to no impact.
Correct.
Pulling it now, everybody's talking about it at the right time.
Okay, but he didn't... We're talking about an endorsement that they had not yet written or prepared. They were going to endorse closer to the election. That is typical. That's what October surprises are a term for a reason also. Do you know that term?
Of course I know that term. I'm older than you. I've been around.
Okay, great. So, but there's a reason. So yeah, they were going to publish their endorsement closer, whatever. At the time,
and again, the endorsement is out there. Everybody knows who they were going to endorse.
Now they do because they revolted. You are again, you keep saying you're not giving Jeff Bezos credit, but you are. You're entirely giving him credit.
I'm giving him credit for not knowing what his people are going to do. Yes, I think that he's smart enough that he knew that they were going to pull this. The LA Times had already done it.
Right,
the writing was on the wall, in my opinion.
Okay, well, agree to disagree. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what the point is of you saying that. It's fine.
Because he was hedging his bets, knowing that the endorsement would still get out there. At the same time, he was protecting his business. I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world to do. Yes, he should spend $1 billion on Kamala's election to help her win, but it looks like she's going to anyways. So works out.
I don't know. She's going to anyways. What? I don't know what you're saying.
I think that everybody realizes that the endorsement got out there anyways, and it's driving more discussion about it. And he's taking the hit as being the bad guy, but at the same time, it drove more discussion for the endorsement that is now out there than it would have back in September if he had pulled the trigger then.
And I'm not giving him credit for that.
Okay. I don't think there's credit to be given. He did it, but he did it at a time in a way that he knew that it was going to come out like this.
That's giving him credit. And I disagree. I'm going to disagree with you giving him credit for that. I know you're pretending like that's not giving him credit, but and you can give him credit, but that's what you're doing. And I refuse to give him credit. But please don't give him credit and then say that you're not giving him credit.
I'm saying I'm giving him credit for being smart enough to know what was going to happen. Not that he did it for the right reasons. Okay. He could have been publishing free articles for Kamala for 2 months in advance, and instead he did this. I think he chose the wrong path, but I think he knew what he was doing and what the end result would be. The endorsement's out there, and there's more discussion about that endorsement than there would have been if it hadn't been otherwise. What's that old saying? And you ought to know this better than anybody. Any publicity is better than no publicity, even
Sure.
bad publicity,
I'm
right?
sure the Washington Post, who has just lost 200,000 subscribers, would maybe
Today.
possibly agree with that.
And if Kamala wins, most of those people will go back.
We'll see about that. I'd love to give me a date by when you think most of those people will be back to subscribing to the Washington Post. And I'd love to see
If Kamala wins, let's say Thanksgiving, because there'll be so much news out there for Trump trying to coup the election again that they'll all be wanting to read what the Washington Post says about it.
I mean, they might just get their news elsewhere. Right?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Hopefully, because there's a lot of good places out there to get
news
news.
app. I pay for the Apple News, and it's like I'll read, whatever was included in that. It's fine by me.
Yeah, same. All right. Okay, Julian, you can. It's always like Trumpers who come in here just asserting who's gonna win, acting like that's gonna affect anything.
I feel very comfortable. Do you want to hear my swing state verdict?
Yeah.
I think she'll take all the swing states except for North Carolina and Arizona, even though North Carolina, as of yesterday, the early vote was trending towards Democrats, looking good, and Arizona has promising numbers. I still think same day voting in both of those states will turn out red. But I think she wins Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin.
Arizona's interesting because Arizona's like, of all the swing states, Arizona's more blue.
Yeah,
Arizona's the one of the couple that she's more behind in right now in the polls, but the polls can't be trusted right now.
Here's the thing: is I think a lot of people in Arizona will vote for border, or at least their perception of the border, and they're going to split ticket. They're going to go Trump, but not Carrie Lake, and that makes people feel good sometimes in a swing state like that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But I can't tell you where my info is coming, but it's coming from it's coming from a couple of places, but the biggest one that's swaying me is like somebody who's sharing with me internal stuff from.
We don't do trust me, bro. Here, we don't do.
I know, but I can't say it out loud. I can text it to you.
Go for it, but I can't cite sources. I can't produce.
That's fine. I'm just telling you my prediction. Mark it down. North Carolina and Arizona.
Will you be on here November 5th? We're definitely going to be live most of that evening here.
Yeah, I'll be around for sure. I'll be around. I think I might be watching it. I mean, I might be watching it at my pal's house because we're on the West Coast. So, 2020 is the only time in our lifetimes that and most of my lifetime I've been on the East Coast. So normally, you wake up in the morning and you find out who won yesterday. But if 2020 is the only time that didn't happen. But so my only other presidential election in California was 2016. And we knew, so you can't buy alcohol in grocery stores or anywhere after midnight here.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew before midnight that Trump won in 2016 in California. And I went to the grocery store and bought this biggest bottle of Jameson that was on the shelf. It was awful. It was awful. I've never had the experience of finding out who won a presidential race before going to bed. So
Really?
I don't know. That could happen. I mean, I just never stayed up that late.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess.
I worked for Dan Morales, the Attorney General of Texas, back in the 80s. And when Clinton won, we knew by 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Texas that he had already won.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, that was a big sweep, though, wasn't it? Was that?
Yeah, the polling data coming out of people that were coming out of the vote, we knew that he had won. So, I mean, that's the earliest I've known. But that being said, those aren't reliable. The early polls are not reliable anymore, and predominantly a lot of the reason why it's not reliable is a lot of Democrats are afraid to voice their opinion because of the retribution that their communities will do against them. You look at the number of signs that are being stolen in people's yards, businesses that are being canceled because Republicans, are so vehement about, or the MAGAs are so vehement about, running people out that are supporting Harris.
Yeah.
I will tell you the thing that's happening this year that I think is probably the most interesting and most unique to this year's presidential election is an uptick in Republican early voting. A lot of people seem to be interpreting that as like new voters, but from I've seen a lot of other people saying, no, it's just a shift in how Republicans are voting, and it not so that we won't see like normally you see a lot of early blue voting, and then on the day on Tuesdays, all the red people, all the Republicans come out and vote, or most of the Republicans come out and vote. And it's
Yeah, but
likely
yeah,
this year that that's just shifted, and the early vote isn't on top of the normal same day vote. It's actually going to eat into the same day vote.
but you can't read the early vote as black and white just because,
That's
let's say,
also true. I mean, that's also true.
56% of Republicans of the early vote is Republicans. Well, a lot of those Republicans are voting for Harris this year. So
Could be. Could be.
we don't know how many of those are going to be Harris votes anyways. Just because that they voted in the Republican primary, or they voted in previous Republican years, or registered as a Republican sometime, a lot of them, you look at the 100 of them that have endorsed her, are going to vote Republican anyway. So it could be that 56% of them have, but 25% of those are voting for Harris.
That's true.
Well, we're in
But
a weird
but also,
moment.
I do want to say, because you said that like in old like polls, traditionally people like Democrats were afraid of speaking to pollsters and stuff. What we've seen in the last like 4 years ago and 8 years ago was Trump voters who were afraid to admit it because they were embarrassed because they knew that it made them bad people, and so they didn't.
But now you've got sheriffs out there.
2016.
Now you have sheriffs out there telling people to write down their neighbors that have Harris signs out there. Or my wife and I have a law firm in a small blue county, red county, that if we put out Harris signs in front of our business, people are going to boycott our business.
Right.
And that's a problem. And so you keep it quiet, you vote, you tell people like on here where people aren't watching, where your friends aren't there, and then you go do your thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more Harris voters out there than are identified at this point. Plus, with cell phones nowadays, and most of the polling being done over cell phones or online, I don't pick up. 90% of the unknown callers get hit with spam, so I don't end up in those surveys.
Yeah.
I have to say, I've done phone banking a little over half a dozen times now over the past couple of weeks. And when I actually, when you talk to a Trump supporter, they hang up. But when I actually talk to an undecided voter, it's very clear that they are more likely to lean to Harris, but just by me talking to them. I've talked to a couple of them who are like, yeah, okay, I hadn't heard that before. I really like that. Sounds really good. I'll go to her website type of stuff. And that's just more common to me than, and I'm calling because of the time that I choose to sign up in California. I'm calling mostly Nevada undecideds. So it's not like I'm speaking to Pennsylvania voters because that time it's already past like too late in the evening.
Right.
I guess if I could do it like maybe this week I'll do some like midday for me, which would be like dinner time for them. So maybe I will get to talk to some Pennsylvania. If I do it at like 2, then I'd be calling them at like 5, 2 to 4, which would be like 5 to 7 for the East Coast. So that could be interesting. I might do that. It's just like in the middle of my day, so I haven't been doing it. But yeah, when I talk to people in Nevada, it's like they want to know more, and they really just don't like Trump, but they want to know more. And when you tell them more, even just a couple of things, they're like, "Yeah, okay,
Like,
all
what
right."
kind of things do you talk to them about?
Well, they sometimes they'll ask me because on the script it says like what's important to you, so it's different
Mhm.
for every person. But a lot of people in Nevada like talk about the border, and I tell them about the border bill that Trump turned down. But I also tell them that like the
I was gonna
Biden
say
Harris.
that's kind of what we do here.
It is.
Oh,
You should do it. Look, I'm telling everyone on TikTok that like debating on with Trump supporters on TikTok is like swimming with like your body weight on top of like weights, like a hundred
Mhm.
pound weights, and then swimming and practicing swimming. And then when you get on these phone banks and talk to independent voters, it's like getting in the pool without the weights on. It's
Right,
so breezy. It's so smooth and easy.
right,
And aside from the people who are like yell at you and they're like Trump 2024. They just hang up on you. That's fine.
yeah,
Um, when you actually get to talk to somebody, they like want to know.
yeah,
Um, but the thing that a lot of these independent voters don't know, if they even have heard about the border bill that Trump shut down, the one that
hmm,
they don't know about is the one that Biden sent to Congress on January 21st, on his first day in office in 2021, that Joe Biden actually sent an immigration bill to Congress, and Congress didn't even vote on it. So they've been trying to help this issue since day one of their presidency, of their administration, and people are like, I didn't know that, so that's
yeah,
cool. But when people ask me what I like, the one that resonates the most for people seems to be when I tell them about her plan to make medical debt no longer affect your credit score.
hmm,
Everybody freaking loves that one. They're like, wow, that's
yeah,
such a good idea. That's
yeah,
because one of my things when I tell them that is like, it doesn't, nobody has to pay for it. It won't cost taxpayers a single penny, and it'll affect tens of millions, if not more, of Americans' lives.
yeah,
Having medical debt no longer affect our credit score will be transformative, and it won't cost us a dime. And they really like that. So that's the one that I think like I wish more people talked about that because it's so simple. It's such a
yeah,
good plan. It's a good idea.
yeah.
You should definitely phone bank Brenda though. It makes me feel better about life.
I mean, so I'm gonna canvass in Pennsylvania in
Oh,
this week.
that's better then. Do that for sure. That's better. That's more.
I've phone banked in like other elections, but it was like I phone banked for Bernie, but that was more
Oh,
like asking for
yeah.
donations and stuff.
Oh, sometimes when I start, they'll make me do that for like 40 minutes, or not asking for donations. Actually, they always ask me to call and look for more volunteers to do phone banking,
Okay.
which is always kind of annoying. But like, I mean, because it feels like I'm not doing anything to help, but I am. I don't know.
I'm
So
sure you are. Yeah. I had someone come in here the other day. I don't know, were you in here? And I've said this the last time I went live because I think it was, I don't know if it was the last time I went live or the time before. Someone came in here and was like, oh, I voted for Kamala because of your live stream. And I was like,
no way. That's so cool.
yeah, yeah. I was like, really? Like, really? And they were like, yeah, yeah. It was the debate live stream. I think they said presidential debate live stream. Might have been vice presidential. No, but I think it was the presidential
Oh,
debate live stream where I was fact checking everything that he said
oh,
and what.
that's cool. Good.
That was really cool to hear. Because there's hope. I mean, it could have been a lie. You never know. But if it's true, if one person did it, then maybe there's more out there. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. But oh, thank you, Nathan. Um, thank you, Nathan. Thank you for the likes or the like. I don't know how it works on YouTube. If you like multiple times or if you only like once and stuff. I don't know. Um, but yeah. Hi, Awax. Um, Yeah, I don't know. We got to set. I'm trying to. So tonight I was gonna try like a setup. The setup for November 5th because I'm trying to set up Philippe's camera, fancy camera, so that I can do like 4K, so I can do both vertical and horizontal. But
Oh,
if
and for TikTok versus
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, I don't know if it'll work because sometimes when I do that, the graphics card, the GPU starts struggling. But
Mm.
maybe if I can make it work, great. If not, I might do the live stream on here horizontal. We'll see, and it'll just people can just turn it over on their side on its side if they want. But
There's a way. I mean, if you do it like, horizontal on here, you could have another graphic like filling the empty space.
yeah, I mean, if I do that, it'll be great because what I want to do is have the graphic be I can't restream, MSNBC or anyone like that. Although that's who I will have because I fucking love what's his face. Who I'm talking.
Kornacki.
Steve Kornacki.
Steve
Yeah.
Kornacki. God, when
Yeah,
I
he's
found out he
great.
was gay, it like broke my heart. 'Cause
Uh,
I such a huge crush on Steve Kornacki. Like that man, that data. Like,
they just
please.
what I like about him is I like this like headcanon that I have where like they keep him in a shack and like just crunching numbers like all year round, and then
Yeah,
they only let him out during election years to come to the big board, and then they put him back in his like, closet,
yeah.
not closet, because not in that way, but you know what I mean, like broom closet. So
Although
it's like they keep him in the building and they
recently,
feed him like cheese scraps and stuff, and then he's just
yeah,
crunching numbers all year.
they recently they used him. They've been trying to pull him out for more stuff, and I forget what it was recently that they used him for, and it just was funny because it was like some sort of data thing similarly that he was like updating and sort of like explaining this, and that, I don't know. And I was just like, oh, they're just looking for more reasons to bring Steve Kornacki out, and we love it. Like, I wish
His
I
agent
remember
probably was like, "We need more Kornacki on
we
TV."
do.
His
We
agent.
need Kornacki any chance we get. I love him so well. Anyway, so long story short, I can't restream them obviously because I'll get in trouble. But what I think I'm gonna do, I mean, I'll have them on in the background so we can hear what's going on. But I'll probably have like the New York Times like live map up.
Oh, great idea.
Like,
They
you
won't
know,
let you have like a TV screen behind you.
No,
no,
because
it's
it's reposting or something, right? Well, you go ahead.
I mean,
Sorry.
I can sometimes if I have it on in the back, it depends on what it is. Sometimes I can get away with it, which is how we did like the debates and stuff. I was able to like do that. But I think part of it was because I was on the selfie camera and it was like reversed. And I think that helps confuse it a little. But I don't want to like, I don't think I want to risk it because it has gotten me in trouble before too, where it'll like stop recommending my live stream and be like, your live, your live isn't eligible for whatever. Da, da, da.
Right. I get
So,
it.
yeah, so I'll
I,
definitely have it on. And I mean, maybe we'll see. Maybe we can test it at some point, but like,
you use OBS, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
OBS has a feature where you can like do like a split screen and like I've seen there's a guy named the Angry Veteran
Mhm.
on here, Matt, and he like live streamed like debates or the interview, like the 60 minutes interview, and he uses OBS and he had it like above his head and he was on vertical and that was on vertical and it seemed to go okay. I mean, he
It
was like live
depends
streaming
on
it.
what
It
it
wasn't like
is.
a camera pointed at a screen. It was like he was
Right.
like screen grabbing it.
Well, and I did that for the TikTok vote because right now I'm on my phone and stuff because people complain. This is part of like what I was gonna test out because people complain when I do OBS through and then go on TikTok because I don't have like a good enough camera and whatever. People complain about it and they really prefer the phone. Weirdly, so. But yeah, I've done it a few times through OBS where I went live where like, yeah, I had the different windows and for example, the TikTok ban bill, the vote in Congress, maybe it was in yeah, it was like the House. I streamed, like I had the C-SPAN live stream going, but that flagged me It got me flagged, even though because it's C-SPAN, it is allowed to be like restreamed because it's a public proceeding. Basically, it is
Oh,
allowed.
interesting.
It is allowed to be restreamed. So I did like appeal it, and I think ultimately like it approved the appeal, maybe. But for like one of the debates, I think the first debate with Biden and stuff, CNN was like basically like did not allow streamers to like live stream it and stuff. They made an announcement and stuff, so you weren't allowed to live stream it and comment on it and fact check it.
Oh my God.
The CNBC one, I feel like I was able to. I put the screen up because I was on my phone, and that went well, But I don't know. It's like it's really hard to know. So I don't. Maybe we'll see what other people are doing. Maybe I'll ask my mods to like check other live streams and be like, are they restreaming things? Because if so, maybe I can restream like a mirrored version of it or something like that. But I don't know. But yeah, I'll have the like New York Times map up. I'll have MSNBC like running in the background, and we'll just hold each other's hands digitally.
Yeah, I like it.
While our fates are decided.
It's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, I don't know. Kind of. I'm teetering between like being nervous and confident.
Well, I think the MSG rally yesterday kind of hurt Trump's ultimate plan of calling trickery because the polls are showing Harris taking the lead again at the moment. And so it's going to be more difficult for him to say, hey, we were winning in all the polls, we were winning in all the projections. So this is obviously stolen. So I think that was a major faux pas by them. And if it continues in that trend, it's going to be much more difficult for him to claim the trickery that he was going to claim.
That Puerto Rican joke was such like, and
That
the
was
thing that,
wild.
and it's not like nobody knew. It was in his prepared remarks. The joke he was reading he was reading his jokes from a teleprompter. You're crazy if you don't think like the Trump campaign sorted through all the speeches to approve them, you know?
Yeah.
But all he's trying to do is shore up his base so that they will take up arms when he loses. That's
Yeah,
all
that
he's
is
trying
what
to do at this point.
the other thing that I'm seeing that is like underreported from yesterday's rally at Madison Square Garden is Stephen Miller literally saying America, what is it? For America is for Americans, but and only Americans or something like that, which
Yeah.
is like a verbatim quote from Germany is for Germans
And
and
only
only Germans. Yeah,
Well,
like whatever it is, it's an exact quote, just
yeah.
replacing America and Germany.
so
It's crazy.
so why aren't we getting more play on, is it Sid Roderick or whatever his name was, and his comment that, I don't usually do Nazi rallies. Why are we not getting more?
People with the N word on here. Sometimes they
Well, but I mean, they've been posting just that one sentence or two sentences. They're not showing more of that, and it's getting very little play.
Is it because that's because he was saying it in tongue in cheek, like ha ha ha? Is that a hard one to stick?
There's a little truth in every joke. He
TZ said,
knew what he
quote,
was saying when he
Americans for
said it.
Americans, Americans only. That's the quote. Gotcha. Thank you, TZ. You're saying what's not getting a lot of play?
Sid Broderick or whatever his name was, Hendrick, where he said he was with Bibi Netanyahu and he was asked to come to the MSG rally, and he said, well, I don't usually take Nazi gigs, but I took it anyways.
Oh. Okay.
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not getting much play, but he called it out, saying that the MSG was a Nazi gig.
Yeah. So what's his last name? Because I can't. What did I just said?
It's Sid. He's a radio personality.
Okay. Sid Radio. Rosenberg. Sid Rosenberg?
That's him. He
Okay.
said he was literally in Israel, breaking Sabbath with Netanyahu when he got asked to come to this, and
Oh
he
yeah.
said
Be
at the
careful with,
rally, do what?
careful with the N name on here
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I'll stop using it. But
You can say like net
he
or
said
something.
that at the rally, and it's getting very, very little play.
Okay. Showing your remarks. Trying to find. Do you have like a source on it that I can find?
Well, I mean, I've reposted it a dozen times myself. Hold on, let me try to find it.
Trump team fears damage from racist rally remarks. Maybe they should have thought that before they approved the remarks. Straight Edge, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Oh my goodness. You got a car? Did you already get one? Ah. What color did you send me? Ooh. Did you send me my colors? You know? Oh my god, I'm so excited. Merch. Oh shit. I'm leaving Wednesday. I'm not gonna be here. Blue for the election. Nice. Nice. Oh, that's exciting. I guess I wear blue now. We're just gonna be gone for a couple
Looking
days.
it up, I see Newsweek's quoted it. I'm trying to get the link for you.
I think I saw the Newsweek one, but it just mentioned it in passing. So maybe I gotta find like the video of it or something. You know what I mean?
The video is definitely on TikTok. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Okay.
I sent it to my wife. I'm going to have to step out for a second.
Okay. We'll let you back in when you're back in. So Straight Edge, we're driving to Pittsburgh on Wednesday. My mom's birthday is Thursday. And I'm gonna and my aunt is getting there Thursday. And we're gonna probably canvas Thursday or Friday and come back. I don't know if Philippe and I will come back Friday or Saturday, basically. So.
Perez family canvassing. I like it.
Yeah. I'm sure my mom won't do it. It'll be my aunt who's like the activist. I don't know if you were here that night.
No, but I hear all the time you posting and talking about how your mom is watching your TikToks and saying, "Brenna, you looked crazy in your latest TikTok."
Yeah. Which reminds me, she. You'll make sure. You don't understand what the word is, what the word means, Connor, clearly. I have to wrap her present. She came in here at the beginning of my live stream and I told her to get out. And she was like, I just wanted to see if you were still wearing the Luke's Diner sweatshirt.
Okay, there's the link from X.
Okay, cool. You sent it to me on my. Okay. I can't. I mean, I can probably open it on my browser.
If you friend me real quick, I can send it through the messages if you want.
You should be able to send it to me. I just have to approve.
Okay, hold on, I'll try.
Yeah, I can't. It's really hard for me to check the messages while I'm on live, though, so I won't be able to check it.
Okay. Well, I had sent you the link on here if you can copy off of here, but look up on X Jacob Cornblue.
Jacob. You have to send it to me through messages, which you can send to me. You should be able to send it, but I can't open it. It gets blocked down here.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Jacob Corn. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find that.
I sent it in the message.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Straight Edge, come back soon. I hope. We miss you.
Well, Andrew, there's only so many times people can say that it's tongue in cheek and not realize that they say everything and then come back and say, well, that was tongue in cheek.
Oh, I'm with you. No, I mean, I'm totally with you. I just know that there's like a fatigue going on when like something crazy is said, and then people go, Ugh. We already know what the argument defending it is going to be, if that makes sense.
Well, yes, I agree. And, you know, the latest interviews with JD Vance where he just says, well, even if it was a racist comment, you know, then about Puerto Rico, that people need to stop being offended by everything. It's like, you know, that's their response to everything is we can say and do anything we want and y'all need to stop being offended by it. But he gets offended by being called weird. Yeah. You know, the double standard is horrific. Did you, Andrew, you want me to send you the link also?
If you were to send it to me, you'd have to send it to like my Instagram. Because
yeah, I can't do that. I don't have Insta.
Okay, because we can't read messages without like leaving the live and coming back. But you can do that if you DM it to me. I don't think we can. I guess maybe I can like copy and paste the link.
Well, I've already copied it into the chat here, but I just sent it to you in messages also.
Actually, you know what? Let me go downstairs and then just tell me the guy's name again, because I'll pull it up on my computer and maybe I can play the audio.
It's right. It was on X, and it's Jacob Kornbluh, Jacob, and then Kornbluh.
All right, let me see.
So if you look on the text, the chat, you can see where I linked it, and I can send it again if you want in the chat also.
Let me take my headphones out real quick.
All right, Jacob, Kornbluh. Okay. That Bernie Sanders thing. This is.
For all I know, it's been taken down by Musk, but that was the link.
Oh, who's this? We got Elon Musk. We got Howard Lutnick. Is that Howard Lutnick? Who's the person that's? We got a Giuliani clip.
Jacob. It was Sid Rosenberg.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I have it right here. Let me
play the audio if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Brina, look.
So, I just got back from Israel about 2 weeks ago. They love Trump in Israel, just so you know, they love him. They love him and Bibi, they love them both. I'm in Israel and had the opportunity to break the Yom Kippur fast with Bibi Netanyahu. What an amazing night that was. Cried with Israelis in the streets. They listen to me from Jerusalem. They really do. It's like all of you listen to me, all of you. I get back and they go, Sid, you want to speak at this MSG thing? I go, sure. Out of character for me to speak at a Nazi rally. I was just in Israel, but I took the gig. She is some sick bastard, that Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a bitch. The whole fucking party, a bunch of degenerates, lowlives, Jew haters, and lowlives.
You can stop there. I mean, we've already said the part.
I want to stop there because it's nice and too long.
I couldn't hear you, Brina.
I want to stop right there because he knows until long.
I couldn't hear you, Brina. So, I mean, he literally called it and then rally. So
That is wild. That is.
Okay. Okay, but the difference, the important thing that I just noticed in watching like the full clip is he goes right on to talking about Hillary Clinton, and that's a right wing thing that they've been talking about because over the weekend, was it Friday or something? Hillary Clinton did some interview where she talked about, rightly so, the last time that there was a political rally at Madison Square Garden was 1939, and it was an NAZI rally, and that Trump is doing this on purpose, and he's intentionally making a callback to that rally. So I don't know. I think I mean,
That's what he was.
I think he was trying. He was referring to something Hillary Clinton said. So that's why I think it's like not taking traction, right?
Because he was basically saying he was trying to dispel that idea that it was an N rally.
except it exactly was.
Oh,
I mean,
disagree with that, but the reason he said it was because he was basically like, oh, I'm
yeah.
this couldn't possibly be like an N rally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, in law speak, we say that's just letting the cat out of the bag so that we could get ahead of it. So he says, well, I don't normally speak at these rallies, but, here I am.
Yep. Ay. I'm sure they don't care. It's just.
Hey, Andrew, do you have any insider on the Allred race here against Ted Cruz?
No, I haven't asked. I mean, I can ask. The person that I've been talking to is really heavily involved in Georgia,
Okay.
but I can ask. I don't think that it's expected that Texas goes blue, but I will say it's like from what I mean, from what I understand, like in things that I've seen, people are saying like the Texas cruise race is closer than any previous cruise race at this point.
It is. That's what I'm hearing here. I'm in Houston right now, so
Yeah, yeah.
and certainly after the most recent rally and then the Puerto Rican comments, it's getting better and better chance that it's going to turn blue.
I mean, honestly, I think that's why more people are focused on that than like the NAZ stuff. Like that really has traction. Like that's really affecting people and their choices, right?
Yeah,
That
I
one
agree.
comedian. So if we're gonna like, 'cause we can't do everything, right? Because they say so many crazy things that you have to like pick and choose which one you're gonna drill down on for a couple of days. And I think the Puerto Rico one is like the smart one to do.
Oh, I agree. I mean, especially since all of a sudden all the Puerto Rican celebrities have decided to come out. I think 4 of them combined. When you look at J Lo and
Yep.
Bad Bunny and Mark Anthony and them, they have like 315 million followers on Instagram. And while people may not simply say, well, I'm going to follow J Lo because, she's not necessarily known for being on top of the game, but they're still getting that message out. And so if they pick up, 100,000, if not 315,000, it could be enough to turn Pennsylvania or Florida or even Texas.
Right.
Every little bit helps, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I think he's done more damage with that because everybody already. I love the signs that say, what is it? Every Republican is not a racist, but every MAGA, has decided that racism is okay, something like that. But again, I think you look at the early voting stuff, it's really hard to determine how good or bad it is, because I think a lot of those Republican ballots that have been turned in are going to be for a Democrat.
Could be. It could be. I mean, seems likely.
You got what was his Kinzinger is out there going out with all red here in the state, and that's a big deal. So he's got Republicans that are helping him out. Although for some dumb reason I can't understand, the district attorney of Houston is out there with Trump, and she's a Democrat. So not Trump, Cruz, and I'm not sure why she's doing that. Unless she just wants to move into chief of staff or something. So, because Houston is definitely not a red county, Harris County.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
Yeah, it's really
there must
strange.
be something. There must be some kind of reason going on.
Yeah.
Does she have an election coming up or something?
Oh, I'm sure she does. I mean, district attorneys are always running too. But that doesn't, she doesn't need it. Because again, it's Houston, Texas. It's Harris County. There's 6 million people, that predominantly people of color, I
hate to say it, but maybe she's retiring, and maybe this is a literal, she's promised money. And I don't know. I don't live there. I don't know that.
Well, like I said, it may not be promise of money. It may be a promise of like chief of staff or something for his office, something that she can get herself into a different political office. If she switched seats, she'll have a better chance of, being Attorney General of Texas than she would be District Attorney of Houston.
I see.
Well, also, maybe it's a crime thing. Like Eric Adams, supposedly blue. I mean, everyone knows he's a Republican that ran with a blue thing. He's the New York City mayor.
Yeah.
He just got indicted and all these fun things, and he's cozying up to Trump. Trump is like, oh, he's being treated so poorly, and
Yeah.
witch hunt and stuff, and he's cozying up to the right because the right loves criminals.
Yep. So. Not that the left hasn't had its own share of them.
Its own share, sure, but not. I will say, not on that same level.
I agree.
The whole post on Watergate. That's quintessentially Republican. Let's be real here.
Well, back in the early 80s, I was actually a script writer for Cuellar, who's now in the federal House Representatives, and apparently in trouble now. So, not a script writer, a speech writer, back when I was in college here.
Well, basically the same thing. Crafting a narrative.
Yep.
Just kidding.
Well, back then he was a good Democrat,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've never been one or the other. I did phone banking for Ronald Reagan for his second term. So, and I worked for a Republican judge here in Houston when I was going through law school. So, it all depends on the person to me.
It used to be different. I was telling somebody else last night, I think, we were talking about when we thought the divisiveness really, really started, at least in a modern era. And I was making the argument it was Fox News, the Fairness Doctrine, and Newt Gingrich around the turn of this century.
Well, Newt Gingrich, but it was because of the moral majority. That's when the divisiveness started, when it became about religion again.
Yeah.
That's when things changed big time. When people, because evangelicals believe in white nationalism. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Yep. And that was, that was Reagan, and Nixon to an extent, but mainly Reagan. That yep. The whole thing, especially because that's I mean, because Republicans were getting less and less popular, so they were like, oh no, what's the answer to us becoming less and less popular? Oh, of course, fascism. That's the conclusion they arrived at, ultimately, which is wild and concerning.
Well, if the IRS would ever pull the exemption on churches for political speech, then we'd get that ended.
Sorry, that's a federal charge, then, right? Sorry, YouTube and stuff. Bye. Good night, Stevie. Sorry, when I'm away from keyboard, I can't see the chat from Twitch or YouTube. So when I was just wrapping gifts, I couldn't see the chats. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, dang, my buffalo chicken wrap is finished. I'm gonna go eat it and watch The Rings of Power. I'll see you guys later.
Rings of Power. Yum, that looks good.
Well, I've got a brief I've got to write, so I appreciate you letting me in, Brenna. We'll talk some other time.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Good
y'all.
night. Bye. Ay. I might hop off soon as well. Because I'm sleepy. I got so much. I got like a big ol' to-do list of things, of explainers and like news things. I'm planning on filming to post. Especially because when I'm in Pittsburgh, I think it's gonna be harder to film stuff. Oh yeah. But I don't know. I don't want to like stop the discourse if you have shit to do. Yeah. Me too, see? So much shit to do. I'm also, like, tomorrow evening, I'm grabbing a drink with a friend I haven't seen in years. So I'll probably try to go live after that, but yeah. God, there's so much shit. And I have to edit the costume video. I know, right? See, look at me being social. I'm out of practice. I gotta like wash my hair tomorrow and do the whole curly thing too. Yikes. Because I forgot. I haven't been like putting my hair up at night, so it's all kind of falling out and not doing so hot. But I also have like a bunch of things I want to film and edit, basically like tomorrow. I guess it's not as important to do an update to the Watergate thing, although that's what's trending right now, but people are wanting me to like expand on things about Watergate. So I'm starting like a new series called History in Under 10 because that's what the Watergate one was, and people really seem to have responded to that, which is great. We love that. That's what I want to be on here doing anyway. Yeah, I need a haircut too. I cut my own hair last time. I might just do that again. But it took a while for it to grow into like looking actually good. So I'm like a little worried, you know. Maybe after the election, I can finally cut my hair. We can figure it out. No Watergate videos on yours. So I posted a Watergate video if you want to go check it out. It's a few videos back. For some reason, I posted it last week and it did like whatever. It got like 6,000 views. And then Sunday night or Saturday night going into Sunday, all of a sudden it started blowing up on TikTok. And I wonder if it's maybe because it's longer. So it was like 8.5 minutes long. And it's like, I titled it like History in Under 10 Watergate. And so it was like a very quick kind of explainer of what Watergate was and like the exciting bits. So, but I'm glad it got the attention because like when I made it, it like took me a while. It was like hard work, you know, I had to like write it. I know, right, Victoria? I wasn't going to say it, but I was like, I can cut it in morning after the election if need be. But yeah, so I was a little disappointed originally that it just didn't do anything. But then all of a sudden, like several days later, it was so weird. It started picking up traction and now it's like over 500,000 views, you know? And yeah, so I haven't yet. See, I like to go on election day personally because it's exciting and I like to have my sticker that day to like remind people like, hey, it's the last day. But I might do it. Also part of the reason is like early voting for me is farther away than election day voting. Like it's a 5-minute walk from me, not even on election day. And I think early voting is like, for me, my place is like kind of out of the way. Oh, the sticker? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go on, I'll look it up again. I'll see where the like early voting location is, but if it's like any further out of the way, I'm gonna go on election day and then come here and, you know, live stream results. I never have a line, geez. I mean, at most it's been like maybe 2-3 people to check in. Actually, that's not, yeah. It's sometimes there's like a little bit of a line, but never like a really long one. I'm in Brooklyn and like usually I can go like in the middle of the day, you know what I mean? So before people are off work and stuff. So it's usually like quite, and I like to like bring my neighbors along with me, you know? Anyone I run into, I'm like, let's go vote. Let's go vote. I'm trying to convince Philippe to do it early, though. That's true, Serge. That's fair. I'm trying to get Philippe to... yeah, maybe. See, maybe I alone have made all the difference in the world. Okay, fine. I'll look up where my early voting location is. Jesus. Now you guys have me nervous. I'm working late to call my phone. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see, let's find my... Oh, okay. Let's see, that might not be that far. Okay, maybe we'll go early. Oh, that's actually very close. Okay, fine. Maybe I'll go early. I do like voting on the day because of the excitement, but maybe if it's busy, that'll be good, and then I can... I don't know. I don't know. I like going on the day. It makes me feel like I'm a part of something. Yes, see, I agree. I did, Serge. It's fucking concerning, to say the least. Very concerning. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I understand, like, even on holidays, people end up working. I think making early voting a thing and expanding it to, like, you know, a week ahead, I think that's good. I think that's, like, the best solution. Because even if it were a holiday, there would be a lot of people working that day. You know what I mean? And in fact, a lot of people would probably be making, like, time and a half and be less, you know, be more incentivized to work that day and stuff. You know, I think early voting really solves that issue, personally. Like, I think that's enough, personally. Especially because legally, jobs have to give you enough time to vote on Tuesday as well. Legally, they have to let you vote. I'm working Is all mail-in voting? Confused by the ballot boxes. I think there's like drop-off boxes, so that might be like early. You know what I mean? That might technically be mail-in, but like drop-off mail-in. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a good question. They might have changed that because a lot of states have changed that in recent years. New York has changed some of it in recent years. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. God, I'm sleepy. Tomorrow I gotta get ready also for this trip we're taking. I gotta finish emptying out my desk, my old desk. And I gotta bring some stuff down from my loft that I'm also taking to my mother. To my mother. My mother. I should also grab my like grandfather's like coin collection thing somewhere. Oh, it was on video. Oh, okay, great. Great. How much you want to bet? I know exactly what affiliation the person had. Hi, Philippe. Ah, nice. Ah, okay, that's good. Thank you for the witchy kitty. Hi. I'm sleepy. I'm getting sleepy, Philippe, so I might hop off. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I was like, you know, deploying the National Guard or whatever to keep an eye on them might come off as like voter intimidation, but which we don't want. But having them at least surveilled. And it sounds like I think in Washington, they are going to have like police keep guard overnight now. I believe that's what it was. Okay. I kind of want to go to sleep. Is that going to be really disappointing for you guys? I know we don't have much going on right now. So, not much, Jack. We had an interesting discussion earlier. And I'm sleepy. I don't wanna. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I think I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna call Philippe. Whisper sweet nothings into his ear. You've missed me. Go Dodgers. Yes. But if I get into bed and all of a sudden I'm wide awake, I'll come back on here. Because that happens often. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much. How is the World Series going? It's going great. We're loving it. The World Series is awesome. Always. I love it. All right. Good night, guys. See you soon. I'll probably be laying awake staring at the ceiling in like an hour.